for transparency's sake, I will say this is not the first time we've seen tokenized X-Men, X-folk. Now, let's be clear. I can barely get through this story, man. But, like, X-Men, think about that and what they are. Essentially, this team of what is known as mutants. And the mutants were created specifically by Stan Lee to be basically a group of people that he didn't have to come up with backstories for. He could just say they had powers and essentially they're born with them. That was specifically why the X-Men were created, according to Stan Lee himself. So with that being said, these guys are going to be able to create basically any type of character off of that alone, that idea within that realm. You may call it lazy, whatever. But I'm just saying they are able to do that. However, you know, we talked about, I can't remember the name of that book or what it was, but I did talk about it here. You remember this, where you had like the tokenized Gambit and all that. And I guess they were like LARPers, basically the people, the teenagers. I don't know how old they were that were doing that, and basically LARPing as these other heroes. But this one seems to be more akin. I mean, you expect a lot of this from Marvel, but you especially expect it from DC. But Marvel's, look, both companies are in on the multiverse, different universe, different reality, where there's different versions of the same character, which is the same version of the same character. Essentially, you get what it is that I'm saying. But Bishop War College came out today. Yeah, because today's comic book day. So he came out today. And in it, as it documents here, Bishop found himself transported to a different universe. Yeah, so long story short, this is what you got. He went to the Xavier School for Gifted Youngers at a different universe. And here are some of the previews. And in the previews, you see tokenized versions of these other characters. Namely, Jean Grey, as well as Cyclops. Now, this is my theory. They're starting to do this more because the X-Men at some point are going to be appearing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I told y'all this with the Fantastic Four when they got announced. You are not getting a straight white family with the Fantastic Four. Forget about it. So with the X-Men, what I think that they're going to do is some of these characters that are even more notable aren't going to be like their comic book counterparts, despite it being the freaking X-Men. There's no reason to do that. There's basically an X-Man for every race that you could possibly think of that has already been created. Probably had long been created. We're talking before I was talking 40 years ago. It probably, along with the New Mutants, probably had already been created. All the boxes have been checked. However, that's not good enough. And what you're more than likely going to get is stuff like this. So when you see these characters, don't be surprised if, okay, here we go, yet again, tokenization. They're going to gaslight the supporters, say, I don't want this. The supporters say they don't want this. They're going to gaslight you, tell you that you're racist because you don't want tokenized Cyclops or whatever. So wherever you're viewing the content, I appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, you may be interested in my comic book company, Rippaverse Comics. Our first book and campaign, ISOM #1, brought in $3.7 million with tens of thousands of satisfied customers. Visit Rippaverse.com to check out our store and stay up to date with the latest campaigns from one of the hottest new comic book companies. Also, my first big step towards a parallel economy was the development of my personal website, ericdjuly.com. This entirely replaced my Patreon. Now, if you enjoy this content, please consider becoming a member over at the website. We have an ever-expanding list of perks for various membership tiers, a forum, and a phone app.
Some of these perks will even benefit you if you're fans of the Rippaverse. Anyway, I appreciate you so much for being a supporter and or customer. I even got a little love for my haters.